Alright, so I thought I would make this video to address some questions that I've seen so far on the 2 videos that I've done this week for the most recent chapter of Tokyo Ghoul Re, which is 144. Basically, a lot of you guys are excited that Kaneki has finally gone into his full Kagura state. However, and I don't want to disappoint you, but this is not a full Kagura state, at least as of yet. Now, I've done, I think, 2 videos talking about, the differences between a half Kagura and a full Kagura, and actually what they entail to the character, right? So instead of going back and finding those videos and watching them, I'm just going to explain it here on why this dragon, quote-unquote, Kaneki, isn't a full Kagura form by any means. Firstly, right, a half Kagura form is basically the insanity version of that person, that character, if that makes sense. So, good example, Kaneki at the end of Tokyo Ghoul Part 1. That was a half Kagura. It kind of breaks it down as a half Kagura equals out to that person being out of control, not being able to control that power properly, and being basically insane and deranged and everything along the sorts. A full Kagura is basically that same character stepping up and evolving and being able to control that ability and actually having a thought process and being able to think properly while using that power. So to put it very simply, half Kagura, insane, full Kagura, not insane. However, there's been teasers of instances where people and characters in full Kagura forms start to lose control. This is evidenced by 2 different people. One is Eto, and the second one, which is more important, is actually Takizawa. Amon is a completely different situation. Like, that was his full Kagura form. However, he was knocked out. I don't even know what happened with Amon there. Like, he wasn't him, if that makes sense. He was kind of like in a whole different state of mind. Like, he didn't even think, but he wasn't literally insane where he was kind of like stuck in his own head. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, the Amon situation is different. They never really explained it. But Takizawa, for example, that was the first time he ever used his full Kagura, and he used it very proficiently, very well. However, when he got to the end of the fight, you could see the armor on his body starting to morph and become more vigorous, starting to kind of become more obscure and obstructive. And that's when you know when that person's mind is starting to delve into insanity a lot more, because it's very evident throughout the entirety of Tokyo Ghoul and Tokyo Ghoul Re that the Kagune abilities, for the most part, represent the person's mental state. The big difference between the full Kagura and this dragon, right, this manifestation is what I'm going to call it, of RC cells, is the fact that it's a manifestation of RC cells so far, right? We haven't seen a complete full panel of this, but realistically speaking, for something of this size to be able to operate, to be able to move, and to basically be able to crack the earth of Tokyo, mind you, the underlayer of that city, just completely destroying it, putting a massive crack straight through it, that is something a full Kagura cannot manifest to that extent. The biggest full Kagura we've ever seen is Eto, right? And she has a massive one. It can fucking fly, alright? But Kaneki's is different. It's not a Kagura, it's just like he's ingested too much RC cells. Considering the RC cells are kind of what runs the Kagune and what fuels the Kagune and the Kagura, the more RC cells you have, the more fuel you have, the brighter the flame's gonna be, the bigger the flame's gonna be. So Kaneki's full Kagura has kind of just morphed into something else entirely, which is no longer a full Kagura. He's gone above and beyond his kind of like threshold limit. He's turned into this monstrosity of just, a dragon, basically, a being like a serpent. And we've seen a panel like this before with Ayato when he was underground. That was something very similar to it. Mind you, none of this has been confirmed. I highly doubt you're going to see Kaneki running around with him being the size of the fucking Empire State Building or Mount Everest, alright? He's massive right now. He won't be able to move properly. He's going to move like a snake, like a serpent. He's just going to crack everything and devour everything. And it's not even him being out of control. I imagine he can't do nothing about it. I imagine a darkness just completely around him and he's lost inside of it, like he can't get out until that one person either kills him or manages to bring him out of that darkness, which I believe will most likely be Hide, right? Toga could very much well be a candidate, don't get me wrong, but Hide, the impact of Hide, finding out that Hide is alive, I feel like Ishida could play a really cool thing where it's like Kaneki thinks it's one of his dreams, like one of his visions, where he pictures Hide in his head and he's like, oh, no, Hide, I'm so lost without you, and then he realizes that it's an actual real thing, that Hide is there in flesh and blood. So that's basically it. To double back, Kaneki's situation right now, this big massive serpent, is not a full Kagura. If it was a full Kagura, it'd look like Eto or Takizawa or or Armon, he would be in control and it would look somewhat like an armor. We've seen a portion of it, right? But he's never actually like fully completed it. You know what I mean? Like the full mask and full everything. You know, we've only seen bits and pieces of it. So he's always started to go into the full Kagaja form, but because he's so weak and, you know, he's rapidly aging and he's dying basically, he can't fully produce it properly because it takes so much RC cells. So I hope this clarifies a lot of stuff for people. I understand the misconception. You know, there's a lot of mystery surrounding the abilities in general, the Kaganes, the Kagajas, the RC cells in general. I just wanted to clarify this for you guys. So with that being said, thank you all for watching. But I am actually going to end the video off here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe. I greatly appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.